Welcome everyone to our second episode and our first episode online, which is crazy because you wouldn't believe how long this actually took to set up, even though it's like 3 items.
Yep. Welcome. So you said online as if the other one was just like so miraculously in the universe.
It's in the ether. This is our first episode not in person with each other, which is sad, but also kind of cool that we figured this out. We're so excited because this is an episode I feel like a lot of people have asked us about, not even just to make this episode, but just questions kind of about social media. So today we're going to be talking about the tips, tricks, and truths of both of our social media journeys. Disclaimer, this isn't an exact rule book. This is what we did to get started, things that worked for us just at the time and place. So you do not have to follow these.
Both of us are different. We started differently, just between the two of us. We started differently. We're similar now as far as what we do as our jobs. And here we are making a podcast together, but we definitely had different starts, different times that we started. Post different things.
No, it's honestly, there's no right way to do this. This is just how we started and we wanted to share it with you all. We don't want to gatekeep. And we think that if you want to grow your dog's social media page, here are some things that worked for us if you want to try. So, Galen, how did you start this journey and what do you think worked for you when you were starting Chili's page?
Yeah. Well, last episode I talked about kind of me just starting Chili's account mostly for fun at the beginning, but I guess I'll kind of fast forward to when things kind of, rolled into more of a job, doing brand deals, making it into a job. And like I said in the last episode, there was a time period in 2021-ish, I was posting literally every single day. So am I proud of every single video that I made in that time period? No, I'm not.
I feel like that's quantity versus quality. Like that's where that comes in.
Totally. And that worked. I don't do that now, but that worked for me then. One, I figured out what people liked. Like you can compare your views, analytics with your comments. What do they like to see? Of course, things that you want to post it just because the other ones might be going viral and getting attention. If you have something you want to post, still post it, of course. I'm not saying that this dictated how I run everything now, but I definitely got a better idea. I did a lot of trending audios, which I feel like Jackie and I can both attest that those will get you the views. You can use a trending audio that you've seen a bunch of times where dogs are doing some funny little thing and it's starting to be repetitive and you can join in on it totally, make it your own even, and you're going to get a lot of views. But what I found is those are not the videos that make you grow your audience and people to stick around, because you're getting a lot of attention and a lot of views, but virality doesn't totally equate to like an audience that cares and knows who you are. Potentially they'll unfollow you later on. So I did that a lot. I did those trending audios a lot because finding a video every single day, you can't.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're out of ideas, then that's kind of what people, I feel like, rely on. And that's, a lot of what social media is about getting on those trends and making it partially your own with yourself, your own dog. That's the one difference in all of these trends is, maybe the audio is the same or maybe what you're doing is the same, but you're yourself, which, that's great. But, that's, as you said, that's not what's going to get you a community. Virality and a community are two totally different things. And I feel like often people mix that up, which was a great point on your end.
Yeah. So as for that time period, I feel like I kind of figured out people love seeing Chili's chins. He has a very unique look. So his squishy face, people love that. We at the time lived at the beach, so he was swimming a lot, jumping into the water. That was a thing. And then skits, like between me and Chili. That was always something that I knew people liked. But at that point in time, I wasn't totally comfortable doing it a lot. So I would kind of like think of other ideas and doing that. But I knew at the core that people like seeing me and Chili relating because, again, relating everything to what I said in the last episode, it can be embarrassing to put yourself in it. I know you, Jackie, you do skits too. And it just, I can't even explain it. Like, you got to try and do a skit just to see what it's like because it's rewarding and funny, but it's so silly to do. So I definitely didn't do it regularly for a while until you were the one that kind of pushed me to keep doing it. And, you know, fast forward now, that's mostly what I do is I'm in the videos with Chili, making some sort of
because it's relatable
content. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we've evolved to. Like, it took so long for me to, one, get the courage to make that my account and to figure out that that's genuinely what people want to see. So, and this is 4 years later that it's, well, for the most part. So how would you say you got to where your content is now? Is that a good question?
Wait, I'm trying to think of how we can maybe you should say like, you could say like, but piggybacking off of the community aspect, you know, like, how did you grow your community, especially living in a different part of the US?
Piggybacking off of the community aspect, how did you develop a community in your, you know, in the New York City area and making your content your own?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, also going back to the first episode, we got Lumi in Seattle and my sister kind of made Lumi's Instagram for me and handed it to me and was like, have fun. I feel like I didn't even know how to post. So, you know, by the time that we left Seattle, then moved to New York City, I was still getting my bearings. Like, if you go look at some of Lumi's first videos, they are awful, at least in my eyes. Like, looking back at them.
But that's how it is. Like, that's how it is. That's the reality. Yeah.
I literally turn into a raisin when I rewatch them because I'm like, like, it's so cringe. Like, I just can't look at them because they were just, it was trending sounds, literally Lumi just.
It's like an awkward stage. It's literally like middle school. I feel like that's a rite of passage on dog Instagram. I just realized that is like, you have to have that, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I posted that.
Yeah. And like, and sometimes I was in it and like the way I just, oh my God, the way I was, like, it just gives me shivers. So I felt like a lot of it was just unedited, raw, really just weird videos. And not really weird of me, but just even like of Lumi. Like, he's either not really doing anything and it's like a trending sound, or he's doing something and it's just edited in like a really awful way. So I felt like the really first thing that helped me a lot was learning how to edit on just like a super simple app.
Yeah.
That was honestly like my biggest focus.
InShot. Use InShot, right?
Yeah, InShot. I mean, I've used CapCut before.
Yeah.
I've used it and I actually sometimes use it, but I use InShot a lot. And that was the easiest thing to learn. Like, I literally remember looking up YouTube videos of how to use InShot for a beginner. Just the dumbest things that is so stupid. I mean, I could have just explored it on the app, but I think I was so intimidated that I felt like I needed to go on YouTube and just watch other people do it, because secretly I'm so bad with technology. Like, I feel like I can barely turn on a computer. Literally, me trying to get on this podcast right now is a miracle.
How do I restart my computer?
That was literally me before this call. Just to let you all know. So
okay, so when you started editing and then you posted the backpack video that went viral, like, at what point then you were kind of like already good at editing? Or
I was better at editing than I was when I started posting on Lumi's Instagram. I'll say that. I still don't think that it was good, but it was a lot better and I felt a lot more comfortable with myself. So rather than, I remember I did at one point post every single day of the week, but it wasn't then, because I was honestly just so concerned about having my videos look good to me that I just had to learn how to edit first. And so that was kind of the first video, or one of the first videos, where I remember like cutting scenes and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I cut a scene. Like I remember like stitching 2 clips together was like a miracle for me. And I just also loved it. I loved how it seemed like a sequence rather than just one whole video. So I think honestly, learning how to use a really simple app like InShot, like CapCut, that was something that I definitely needed and I recommend to anyone who really wants to put the effort into their videos.
When you figured out your editing style and everything, your account was already growing. But so then when were you like, okay, this is what I'm going to start posting?
So similar to you, I then started posting every single day after I kind of got a little better at editing, and I was still learning. I mean, if I look back a year ago, oh my God, I would think that I didn't even know what like editing a video sequence was, but now I do it daily that I don't even think about it. But I eventually started posting every day because then I got a lot more comfortable with the videos I was making. But a lot of it was the trending sounds, just like you said. A lot of the views and followers were coming from those trending sound videos. But I remember thinking, it's kind of boring. And I want something that makes me me. Like I want something that makes Lumi's page distinguishable. And the backpack was kind of that first step. And then I thought, how can I take this a step where, making it kind of about New York City because it's such a unique place to live, especially with a big dog like Lumi. And that's when I kind of thought, oh, maybe, people love day in the life videos. Maybe I start doing something similar to that. And then I mean, you actually mentioned it to me the other day, those weekend recaps where I used to literally do something with Lumi every weekend and then I would recap it and do a voiceover. And I remember that was the first time I did a voiceover were those videos. And I was so uncomfortable with myself at first. I remember thinking, I still
hate doing voiceovers.
Oh my God. When I sent you the video of the like Kate Spade video the other day, I was like, oh, I hate how I sound. It takes a long time to get over.
That people comment on our videos being like, I hate your voice. Like,
oh my God, yeah. Like, what is that about? Just leave me alone. I can't change that.
That's part of our whole thing is like, we do these things and then we get 100 nice comments and then 1 negative comment. We're like, I'm never doing a voiceover again.
Yeah.
It's like just one person freaking, probably a bot anyway. That's
like, I'm going to cry in the corner. That's like basically us. And then we just do it again because we just get over it. But yeah, I just think that first edited backpack video after I learned to get good at editing really pushed me to think, I don't want to just do these videos with trending sounds. I want my page to have a personality. Yeah. And I think that after posting every day, like you said, and after doing those trending sounds, that really pushed me to think, okay, well, what's my personality and what's Lumi's personality? And I think you did the exact same thing.
To give an actual tip, I feel like us saying both, not even on purpose, posting every single day, neither of us did that with any sort of intention. We didn't set a New Year's resolution to do it. But I do see often people like social media marketing people on Instagram, they're always like, I'm committing to 30 days posting and like, let's see what happens. And I know that they're probably doing it to gain a follower base and stuff. And to be quite honest, I've never posted to be like, I need to hit this amount of followers. Like, I'm posting because I enjoy it and I'm trying to see what like it turns into. Like, honestly, every single day is a mystery. Like, still to this day, 4 years in, every single day, I'm like, of course, some videos are planned out, or if we go somewhere like you do your day in life, it has some sort of intention behind it. But I have no idea when I'm going to post next week, next month, whatever. Like it's a it's a freaking gamble, and that's like the fun part. And that's what the 30 days or however long you want to post every single day, like really sets it in motion to figure out like what you like doing. And
it makes your brain work so hard, like your creative brain. It like, hurts in a way.
And sometimes your dog, if you're doing a dog account, sometimes your dog isn't gonna do certain things. Like there's definitely so many videos that I've sent to myself being like, I'm going to totally recreate this and do it with Chili. And then, reality comes and I set the camera up with him and he just doesn't want to do it.
And he's like, Basically saying screw off.
Yeah, and we're like, okay, we're not going to be this type of account. We're going to do something different.
That is so real. I'm sorry. I'm just going to repeat that. We're not going to be this type of account. That is so real because, listen, everyone can always, attest to this. The grass is always greener on the other side. You're always going to look at someone else's account and say, wow, like that's so cool that they do this. Or, I want to try that. Or maybe I should do more of those types of videos. Like you're always looking for those types of ideas that are going to make
you could take them as inspiration.
Wow. Yeah, and inspiration, make it your own. But I feel like a lot of people, like you said, you'll try and make a video that maybe just isn't you and your dog, because we're talking about dog accounts specifically. Maybe your dog just, isn't in the mood to play fetch or isn't in the mood to listen to certain commands, or honestly doesn't know how to kind of read you and do the things you want, and it's just too much for them. Like you have to know your dog and you, and that's going to help also steer your ideas, because there are so many things that I've also wanted to do, and Lumi's Lumi. Like he's the biggest derp. Like for example, Lumi does not know how to play fetch, and that's totally fine. But the amount of videos that I've wanted to do where, Lumi brings something to me or picks something up and puts it in my hand. Like, I just know my dog, that will never happen. We will never have a video like that. And that's okay.
Also, I feel like it's to be said that there's a bunch of dog accounts that do a lot of tricks and they do a lot of training. And that's kind of a big portion of their account is either showing the tricks or their dogs are extremely well trained. And I'm not saying that Chili or Lumi are not well trained, but they have different personalities. So I can't incorporate me like training Chili to do these crazy tricks because that's just not us. Like I would love to do that, but I've tried it before, like being like, I'm going to get into that because I love watching so many different types of accounts. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not reality. I would love to go travel around like Nala stomps, like freaking seeing the world. That's sick. God, I would love to do that. But reality is I don't really like to leave my house. So am I going to do that? No, not going to do that. But it's great to watch.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Or honestly, I think we can both relate to this, but just having bigger dogs, there are so many things that we want to do, but we just can't because our dogs are over 30 pounds. Like I have a 50-pound dog and you have an 85-pound dog. It's just not in the cards, which is okay. But it's more just to know you, know your dog, know the type of account, know what you want to put out there, because it should be truthful and honest in you. And that's what's going to differentiate your account. Yeah, and stick to it. And that's what's going to differentiate your account from Joe Schmo and his dog. But you shouldn't try to replicate everything exactly the same.
Yeah. I feel like also there's like different niches within niches in the dog creator world. Like,
oh yeah,
I have it in my title, like Chili's a comedian. Of course, not every single video that I make is going to be the funniest thing ever or even funny at all. Like it can be different, but I feel like you're going to kind of predict what's going to be on the video, what's going to be posted. Like we kind of have a theme of our own. It's not everybody else's theme. And then if we're not even just talking about our own, like you are very much New York City based, day in the life. You're doing events like I've never seen or I've never even been to, and it's really cool to watch. But then, like I said, there's the traveling accounts. Then there's
ASMR.
People who stay home, but they have like a baby and it's the dog interacting with the baby, or then there's people who do like the little skits, like with the TikTok audio voice.
Dog training videos, like we said. There are so many. Nutrition. Oh my God. I feel like, now a lot of other niches with pets are coming about because people are starting to take better care of their dogs. So yeah, like the dog nutrition is also coming about. Exercising, doing sports with your dog, sports. Like there are so many different niches that people can get into. So I think a tip that both of us could agree on is find your niche and go into the niche that you have a lot of passion about. Like I have so much passion about New York City, and that's going to sound really cheesy because, you know, I love New York City in the world. Literally, I heart New York, but I do. I really do love it. And I want to make it more accessible and more fun for dog owners, especially big dog owners. Like it's, you know, it's not an easy feat having a big dog in New York City. You know, Galen, you've come into New York City with Chili before. It's not easy, but
so stressful.
It's so stressful. But it's something that I want to show because it's becoming more and more popular to have not only a dog, but a big dog in New York City. I mean, especially compared to 5-10 years ago. So yeah, that's definitely a niche that I saw an opportunity in and went into. And Galen, you with kind of having the relatable dog mom content.
I'm just like so funny.
You're literally a comedian, as in your bio. It's true. But no, I think my biggest piece of advice to share is choose your niche that you and your dog are comfortable with doing things. Do not put any stress on you and your dog.
Ask your dog for consent about his niche.
No, literally.
His or her niche.
Literally. Like if your dog, for example, Lumi's actually incredible in high noise, high populated areas. He really is. I mean, he grew up in a city. That's what he knows.
He has one brain cell.
He literally, it functions at like, he's just focusing on breathing in and breathing out and sometimes eating and sleeping. But, you know, I would never put him in a situation, for example, like he is not a dog who really loves to be around a ton of other dogs. You know, that's why if we ever go to a dog run, there's only like 2 or 3 other dogs there. I can't put him in a situation just to film, say, like a GoPro on him. Like that's just not who I am, and that's not who he is, and I don't want to try and make him that way.
Yeah.
And I think the same is with you and Chili. Is you do things that you and Chili are comfortable with.
Hates. Yeah, I guess Chili just like he's a stubborn little butt, and it really I kind of dictate what I'm gonna make based off of his mood, because like doing skits with him sometimes just doesn't work out, and that's okay. I'm not going to force him to do it. He might look at me like, why are we doing this today? And then in that case, I'll maybe like put together a clip of like the boat day or something. I actually just posted it today of like a day in the life of a boat dog, because
go check it out. It's really freaking cute.
He's been a butt the last 2 days, to be quite honest. Like, I've already complained about it to Jackie today. Like, sometimes he's just in a mood because he's a dog, and that's okay. And, like, he comes first. Our dogs come first before this whole social media world. But we kind of figured out what works, and they're living the best lives, literally.
They're living their best lives. Lumi is literally on the ground behind me. He looks like a rug. He is out. I
don't even want to address Chili because then he'll come over here and
What do you think some of the hardships of having a dog's social media account are? What's a truth that you know no one really knows?
I feel like anybody in the social media world knows this, especially if you put yourself in it. But people are brutal online, and I know that takes a toll on me a lot. One, I definitely struggle with my own like self-image stuff, and that's how most people in the world do. And just because I put myself on social media doesn't make me exempt from it. And some days you're just not having a great day. Just like we said, Chili's been a butt for the last 2 days. I sometimes have moods off that are off too. And one negative comment can really affect, you know, my entire week because I have to post. And there's definitely been times when I don't put myself in the videos purposely because I'm just not feeling like myself, or I'm tired of the comments. Like, it's amazing to have videos go viral and people care so much about our dogs, us, our life. Yeah. That's truly a blessing. I love that. But people do have a lot of opinions regardless of what we do or say. And I know it's easy to say like, oh, don't let them bother you. Like, majority are nice. But when you have just one viral video, and you and I have definitely had many of them, but just talking about one, the amount of like unnecessary controversy can really get to you. And that's at least my biggest struggle, is trying so hard to not let it get to my personal life, because our personal life and social media is so blended now because we're with our dogs.
Yes.
We're with our dogs all the time. So, and we're posting, like, we genuinely want to post. You and I are very active on our stories, and we're with our dogs all day.
Yeah, way too active. We have way too much fun with stories.
Yeah, and I want to share that. So I never want to feel like I don't want to post something because I'm getting, negative things, but it does really, I do struggle with constantly thinking or double checking myself, being like, should I post this because somebody might say this? And I used to not care as much years ago. Like I would just post whatever I wanted, and the audience wasn't as big, so there probably wasn't an opportunity for that much hate, or I just wasn't really caring about it. And the longer you go, the more you care, and the more you're like, oh, I shouldn't say this because Karen XYZ might say that I'm fat. Yeah, and like, who cares? But
and also, both of our accounts in the couple of years that we've been doing this, our accounts have changed. So now there's more room for people to say something because we're posting more things, but different things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it goes when you open up a whole new type of, I guess, video style or topic. There's going to be more people, and they're going to have more things to say because your channel's grown and the types of videos have changed since you started. So I definitely agree. As both of our accounts have grown, it's definitely, I think it's become harder to just say, let yourself be free and post what you want. Because I feel like I also used to post just the funniest stories. Like, they were just bizarre. They didn't even make sense, honestly, looking back. I mean, I remember there was one story of Lumi just in Central Park ripping up the grass because he thinks it's a game. He doesn't eat the grass, but he just rips it out of the ground and runs around with it like a toy. He just thinks it's a game. We've tried to train him out of it. I'm still trying. It's a work in progress. And,
But you say you wouldn't post that now?
I wouldn't post that now, but I did a couple of years, or a year and a half ago. I've only been doing it for a couple of years, but a year and a half ago, I would have posted it and, would have filmed myself running after him because I thought it was freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
But if I posted it now, people would say, oh, he's eating the grass because his tummy and he's like allergies, whatever. Meanwhile, it's like, I've gotten this dog allergy tested. He's on hypoallergenic food. He's on a no chicken diet. Yeah. He gets allergy shots every month, and he's not eating the grass. He's just running around with it. So it's,
but it's like we need to defend ourselves almost, but that's not healthy for us to for people to have an opinion. And I think a lot of the time with it's like they kind of want to get a rise out of you, or it's like there's really no purpose behind them saying something. So I used to definitely
they want to hear themselves talk almost.
Oh yeah, like I would say, oh no, actually it's this, and then it would be like an argument. And I really hate that part of social media now because I don't reply to messages very much. I'm like constantly in my head about saying the right thing and not coming across mean and like trying to be like
or
lighthearted.
With your
Nothing
response.
is that serious. Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing and somebody think like, oh, Chili's mom actually is kind of mean, and I'm like, I didn't mean it like that, So
yeah, because you can't tell someone's tone and intonation over a message. And I think with all those things that I was saying about when Lumi pulls the grass out of the ground, and all the things that I've done to show that it's not him having a tummy ache or uncomfortable. Like, I've used that to defend myself because that's what people have said. They start saying that, and we also take care of our dogs very, very well. Both of us are, if anything, we're like helicopter with dogs. Like, we should probably give them some space. But when I feel like I have to defend myself with that example, it makes me feel like a bad dog owner. Because then I'm thinking about everything I do, or if I could do more, or if I don't portray that I am, on Lumi's side in my videos. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a big negative side, and a truth that we have is that, we get down about ourselves when those things pop up, those bad replies on stories that we used to post. replies on comments. Like, oh my God, there was, and trigger warning for anyone, but there was one comment, and it was one of my earlier backpack videos. So it was last year in 2023. Someone literally messaged me in a reply about a reel I posted of Lumi in the backpack. They said, like, I hope you get arrested and die because you bringing your dog on the subway is making it a hostile environment.
I didn't mean to laugh, but it's just so
no,
dramatic.
it's honestly just, it's so dramatic and so ridiculous. And no one is thinking about the real person reading this on the other end. Like, why would you send that to someone?
I would like to announce to the podcast second episode what my most common comments and messages are.
Yes.
Is about my freaking feet. Like,
let's open that bag up, girl.
Literally, I'm like, I can't even express to you how like severe this is, and it's not like the end of the world. I'm not lying in bed crying over the amount of messages I get about my feet, but like, it's definitely pretty weird. And it's definitely not something I ever thought that would be a part of my job, especially my dog account. Yeah, Jackie knows. Literally, I can't even read the most recent message. I'll read it to you later, Jackie. If you want to know, send me a message. I'll screenshot it because this guy deserves.
If you want to know, go to Golden Chili Dog and DM her. What's the foot message?
The message. Because it really was crazy. It involved duct tape. It was bizarre.
I can't with people.
So like that, it's not the end of the world. I'm definitely not complaining, and it's definitely not something that will ever kick me off of Instagram by any means, but it's definitely interesting for sure. Do you have anything else besides
besides that just horrendous message? I actually think a big truth to being a social media content creator is burnout. Burnout's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like you don't get it unless you're doing it. Unless you're doing this job, people think, oh my God, your job is so cool and so easy. You get to hang out with your dog all day.
Which it is. We're not saying it's not, but
we're not complaining, but there are definitely a lot of times where it might not be that we're physically exhausted, but we are mentally exhausted. Like, we are drained. Mm-hmm. We have to be on constantly, creatively, thinking about the next day for brand deals that usually happen weeks in advance, what we're planning for that week, how we're going to write out that script, when we're going to post it, working with the brand. Also for our own videos, when, say, we're not going to be doing anything that's, quote, exciting, end quote, we have to kind of plan, say, okay, well, what can I do instead? It's just, you're constantly thinking. And I think leading to burnout, people often just forget that it can kind of happen to not just people with, working a 9-to-5. It happens to us too.
Yeah.
And
you have to keep going.
And you have to keep going. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
And that's
I mean, of course we can take a day off, like call out, but there's definitely been times where I'm like, I'm definitely not going to work today because I'm so tired. And then something comes up. Like, both of us have agents for our brand deals and everything. And I'm never going to leave him ignored. Like, if something is pressing, this is my job. I'm not going to like let an email sit over the weekend, a day, even
if your boss pinged you.
Yeah. It's like you're pretty much always on call, which that sounds kind of dramatic, but to an extent, that's what it is.
You are.
Like, you constantly have to be ready for like what's going to come up. Or there's totally like, our dogs are unpredictable. Our job is unpredictable, but our dogs being unpredictable, if there's something that you capture in your everyday life that's not purposeful for work, and they're doing something funny, or they're doing something that you were waiting for them to do, and you get a video of it, that now becomes part of your job. And you've kind of taken yourself out of the real life experience, and it doesn't feel like anything in the moment, but later on you realize, wait, I was doing something fun, but I was also just like working.
Yeah. And you don't realize it.
And game. Yeah.
I think going back to, how we both have agents, which we're very lucky to have. But that makes it, almost like we're on call 24/7 because, of course, there are brands in other parts of the world, time differences. They're emailing you when, say, you're going to bed. Last night, perfect example. Last night, I was at dinner with my fiance, Ben. If no one knows, Ben is his name, Louis' dad. I was at dinner with Ben and his dinner.
What's his name again?
I'm going to hurt you. Anyway. I was at dinner with Ben and his family. What's my name? And literally in the middle of dinner at 7:30 p.m., I get an email from my agent saying that the Wall Street Journal wants to talk to us the next day to do an interview and highlight our page. That was at 7:30 at night. I was at dinner, but
Sorry, babe, we have to go.
So peace out. Get the chicken curry to go. But no, not actually. I finished my dinner. But that's what it feels like. It feels like you have to respond right then and there, even though it's past most people's working hours, because your agent emailed you and this is your job. You can't just ignore it.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like I'll put it this way. There's no distinction from when we start and when we stop.
Yeah. And that's great for so long because I think you and I can both go a long time before that reality hits. Like, honestly, it could be months before I'm like reaching this burnout, or it could be like a week. I've had a long week. I've had to do a lot of things. And then a week goes by and I'm like, whoa, I feel like I didn't do anything, but I also did so much. It's because all of this is on us. Like, every single video that we do, nobody told us to post it. Nobody thought of the video idea. And then when it comes down to brand deals and ads, which of course is how we are able to do this, that's how we earn our income to be able to be content creators. You are like representing this brand, and that's a lot of responsibility. And they have like briefs and drafts and all this stuff. It's not as simple as you think of an idea, make it, post it. There's so much behind the scenes that we could totally get into another day for the brand deal aspect of it. But
definitely,
I've showed it to one of my friends even, like, oh man, like look at this draft, like, or look at this brief that I have to do. Like, was getting really stressed about it. She read it over. It was like a 24-page brief for a company. And she was like, this is what goes on behind the scenes. And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh wow, I definitely didn't realize that this is what it was. So I didn't even realize what it was before we did this, honestly.
No idea.
We totally figured it out as we go.
I remember for one of the first brand deals that we did, it was with Rover, the dog sitting and dog walking company. Yeah. And I remember I had a call with them. They scheduled a call about what the video I was going to make was going to be about. And I remember thinking in my head, wait, why do I need to have a call with them? Like, I'm just gonna include it in the video. Like, I did not even think about the fact that there are certain things that they want us to say. There are certain things that we cannot say because of legality issues. Like, there are so many do's and don'ts that go into each brand video. And that's why we have to schedule it 2, 3, even, 4 weeks out. It takes a lot of work. And a lot of the brand deals that we post, we were working on those for 3 weeks. And, that's, I think another truth is when those brand deals don't do well, even though they're not, quote, our videos, unquote, it's for another company or someone else, it still hurts. It still hurts when they don't do well because you still took the time to make it, follow those instructions, have those meetings to make sure that, this is the video that they wanted and the idea and the product is being shown clearly.
Yeah.
I still honestly get really hurt, I feel like, when that video for a brand doesn't get the attention, the likes, the comments, whatever, because, you want the company to be happy with you. It's like if your boss...
And you're like representing them now. So you almost take it personal. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what the...
It's like if your boss told you didn't really do a good job, Like I like want to cry. Like just thinking about it. You know, it's basically just Instagram saying, your video sucks. And I'm like, well, I kind of thought it was pretty good.
But then there's always the, like, we don't know this for certain, but when you put the paid partnership at the top, like, we all just have this feeling that Instagram suppresses the video some way, that it's like, okay, like, we're just trying to stay on this app for you.
I'm trying to stay alive. And then also people see it and they think, oh, you know, it's an ad. Oh my God, it's not going to be one of their normal videos that I like. Which, fine. We all feel that way. But
I purposely now, like, I didn't do brand deals for a long time because I was like, I am not going to be a sellout. Like, that's lame. And I hate that I thought that, but that's genuinely, like, because when you think about influencers doing paid partnerships, you think about like the Kardashians with the Sugar Bear gummies and stuff.
God,
like, so lame. And then now it's not like that at all. Like, now pretty much, can I say pretty much? No, I would say every single brand deal I have done, I have used it either before or they've sent it to us and I've used it for weeks, like we said, while we're waiting to figure out what we're going to do. I'm using the product and like making sure that I actually like it before I promote it. It's not something that's like, oh yeah, I guess like I want to make some money off this. These are products that we stand by and we're advertising. And then now, like I said, because I didn't do them for so long, I was in this like weird feeling of posting ads and felt almost awkward making them. And now I'm like, I feel like I put a lot of my creative energy into our ads now because I'm like, I want this to be good. I want this company to make money because they're paying me because they believe that we're funny enough to represent their brand.
And you also want your followers to enjoy it. That's the, I feel like what you're...
It's entertaining.
Like you're saying definitely the aspect where you want the brand to enjoy it. And, you know, you also want your followers to enjoy it, which, you know, I think both of us really try and do because it's not our, you know, weekly content. You know, it's not the same thing as we normally post, but we want to try and make it as similar to our normal content as possible so people will still like it and still engage with it. Because that's the most important thing. The most important thing is what your followers think. And I love the community that I have. I know you love the community that you have, that we've grown. It's let us do what we do, which is so special. But there's also that aspect.
I'm sorry, I was going to say we have an overlap between our community, but we also have completely different communities. Like, of course, we have some overlap in people stumble across both of our accounts and now definitely through our podcast. But you have a completely different community and what people want to see than I do. And we're in the same world for the most part.
No, and I think it's just so important to, you know, think about what your followers want because that's how you're going to succeed. Not even just with the types of videos you post, because of course you're going to get those views, those follows, that engagement when your followers like the videos you're posting, but even with brand deals, like to kind of make sure that your brand deals are on track with your page and that the ideas you want to portray in a brand deal video, it's going to fit into your page of your normal weekly content. I think that's a really important thing.
The niche that you establish with yourself is ultimately what will attract brand deals because there's totally different types of brands that...
Re-freaking tweet!
Twitter's not around anymore.
Oh, sorry, it's
X. What do they call it now?
It's X.
Retweet an X.
Oh, is it? That's so... X? Oh my God, you just kind of blew my mind.
I know.
I'm sorry, we just got so off track. Wait, what were you saying
what did they call it on Threads?
A thread. Wait, are we? Oh my God.
Okay.
Someone help us. Back on track.
Backtrack. Oh,
no. Hey, Dora. I can't.
Oh, God. All right. We said things.
We said, someone get us. Is it too early to go back to sleep?
Finally.
I remember.
Wait, I thought that was a song. Never mind. I do remember what I was going to say. Anyway, the niche that you decide for yourself and establish is ultimately what the brands want to see. And that is like, there are different types of brands for every type of creator. Like, we have done similar brand deals, but also I'm not going to show up to a New York City Kate Spade event. Like, you really would freaking knock everything off those counters. That's not happening. 1, 2, we don't live in New York City. 3, I look like a trash bag half the time.
Shut up. No. You look
So beautiful.
no, there's oh my god, he got really upset.
The monster.
The monster is awoken. No, Lumi hasn't woken up. But no, I mean
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm gonna say one last thing.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there are so many brand deals that I wouldn't do that you do, and that's totally okay. Like the boat deal that you did, Lumi has literally been on a boat one time, and it wasn't even Ben's or my friend. Like, it was just rented a boat. So there are things that make sense with our pages, like boat deal with you. Chili goes on the boat every weekend, loves swimming. Lumi literally cannot stand water. Has been on a boat one time. Like, why would we do that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are things that just make sense with each other's page. There are things that will cross over, like how we both did a reel for NextGuard, or we both done a reel for Bark or PetSmart. You know, of course, there are things that we'll both do that are the same, but we also have a lot of unique brand deals because our pages are unique. And I feel like that's probably one of the biggest tips that we'll share on here is find what makes you and your dog unique and capitalize on that.
Mm-hmm. As my dog is creepy in the corner, I capitalize off my dog being dramatic as heck.
Yeah, like I capitalize off my dog being the biggest derp ever. Oh my god.
All right.
Can we see?
Let's show off the bad boys and then...
Yeah, let's show off the bad boys.
Oh, weird. Come here.
That's
Mears. Yes. I have a podcast, Mom. Oh. Okay. Oh. Lemmy. Oh.
Can you?
Oh. Bad boys.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
I'm literally out of breath now.
Wait.
Okay.
All right,
Until
guys.
next time.
Until next time, we're talking about puppy blues.
Woo woo.